I made recently. It's the dragon gunship off of the movie Avatar, because I like the look of it a lot, so I decided to make it. It took about 18 hours to make, and everything is functional on it. You can rotate all the props and all the blades. Everything will move on it. So it just takes a lot of little steps of putting stuff together. And then something else that I made is a CO2 car for like TSA, state. Like you can take cars and race to try to beat everyone else in the state for the technology and stuff. So designed up in SolidWorks, and then right now down in Hinky's room we actually have a 3D printer which will print these things off out of plastic. And well, this one's printed off by my dad, but you can pass it around. That's a half scale of what it would actually be, and it'll print them off so then you can actually see what you've made and mess around with it and see what you want to change about it. And this one's easier to learn, but you can't do a lot of things that Blender can do that are just kind of out there to make things look cool and mess around with objects. This is more of the making something to, I don't know, sell or produce to solve a problem. So I know some other kids are making like speakers and something else that they could actually like use.
Yeah, I believe this one's MRI.
Okay.
This is an MRI of a child, we're not exactly sure what age, I'm estimating between 8 and 12 years old, who has a brain tumor. What this program called BodyViz does is it lets us stack an MRI or the CT scans, different slices. They're taken in very thin slices, like it's like a 100th of a millimeter or something close to that with the MRIs, and CT scans are a bit bigger because they're less accurate. But with those pictures, it'll stack it, and how MRIs and CT scans work is they read density with either magnets or radiation. And what this does is it gives color to that certain density. So what I can do is, with this program, I can cut into those scans, and you can see those lines while I rotate, and you can see that this child has a very large brain tumor right there. And then with this program I can go up and I can apply that clipping plane, and then I could change the mode to tissue types, and I could change what tissue types and what colors it's giving to what certain to the certain densities. Whereas if I change it to only seeing the very dense tissue, I can see that brain tumor right there while removing all the brain, and I can see all the major arteries. And then what I could do is I could go back to the clipping, and I could see that in that there are veins and arteries inside that, where if they were to remove that, they would have to be careful about that, obviously, because they could kill the child while operating. And also there is another part where surgeons actually use this program in order to watch this, but if you follow this camera, you see how that tumor, the main tumor, it goes around the brain, and then you see this little part that is actually broken off the tumor. If the surgeons hadn't used this program before doing this operation, they may have missed that tiny little part of the tumor that would have stayed in the brain, grown, caused just as much of a problem as this, or even become cancerous, and that wouldn't be very good for this poor kid. See where the left side's what it should look like, and the right side, it's actually completely fractured off, where the leg bone is no longer part of the pelvis, where it connects. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that's broken. And a surgeon would have could have definitely used this technology when attempting to fix this break. Another scan we have is one of Thomas Alexander, if any of you know him. He had scoliosis, and we got a picture, or we got his MRIs or CT scans, I'm not sure which, of his back before he had the bars implanted, or the metal bolts implanted into him, into his spine. So it's very, you can very much tell that his spine was not straight. I'm not going to show you that one just because it takes a very long time to load, and it's crashed the program a few times because it's so large. That really sums up body viz. Other things I could do is I could insert the trocar, which is how surgeons operate surgery, but I'm not going to get into that because, one, I'm not very good at it, and it takes a little while to get right. So.